Did you miss me? Yes, yes, yes. It is I, Mr. Cinema Junkie, back with day 23 of the Movie a Day Challenge. And day 23 is asking us for a great quote from a horror movie. There are a lot of good quotes in horror movies. And guess what? I've gone 23 days without repeating an answer, as far as I know, and without doubling up on my answers. Hooray for me. But today that ends. Because as much as I tried, I could not pick one quote. It came down to two. I kept trying and trying. I kept running them through my head. I even kept speaking them out loud. My mother thought there was something wrong with me. But I decided to go ahead and offer two quotes. Both equally effective. Both very powerful in my eyes anyway, and in my ears. And they both pretty much let you know where you stand when you hear them. I tried to put myself in the position of the person those words were being spoken to, and wondered how I would react to such a thing. And realized that I'd be like, oh shit. So, these are my two choices for best quote from a horror film. And I cannot wait to see the other quotes that people put up, because there are a whole bunch of really good quotes. Really good ones. But these are my two. Are you ready? And because of the little vocal thing that I have going on right now, I won't be saying these the way they said them in the movies. Sorry. I tried, but every time I do, I start choking and coughing. But my first pick is from the movie Hellraiser. When Pinhead is warning the girl not to screw him over, that she's getting the chance that she wants, but he knows that she's crafty, and he tells her not to betray him or not to cross him, and he says, and I quote, "Your suffering will be legendary even in hell." That's some pretty strong shit when you think about it, because it's like, can you imagine people in hell, the suffering that they're going through, and they all say, hey, you think we got it bad? Remember that girl they brought down here a few years back who jacked with Pinhead? The things they did to her. Think about it like that. Legendary even in hell. Damn. And my second quote has to do with the other end of the spectrum, because in it they mention heaven. Isn't that nice? But when you hear how it's delivered, you know that the person saying it is not one to be jacked with. This quote comes from the movie Phantasm 2. The tall man is being faced off with by the priest. And the priest is trying to put him in check by telling him, you can't tell me what to do, and you can't question my motives behind what I do, and you can't tell me that I'm not needed here anymore. He doesn't say it like that, but that's basically what he's trying to get across to the tall man. And he tells him, who are you to question God's servants? To which the tall man kind of gives him the eye and was like, oh, okay. Telepathically takes his rosary and wraps it around his neck and drags him into the air and leaves him hanging there, suspended in midair, and walks up to him ever so slowly and delivers this line, which is my second pick for best quote. Gets up about 3 inches from his face and says, you think when you die you go to heaven? You come to us. How the dude didn't shit all over himself suspended in midair is beyond me. Which should have happened. He should have dropped a hot deuce right in his shorts, and then when he let him loose from the suspension, sat right in it. Add a little insult to injury. But that line was originally in Phantasm 1, but it didn't make the final cut. If you get the MGM release of Phantasm, I don't know if it's available on the Anchor Bay, but in the MGM release, in the special features, they have deleted scenes, and you'll see where he originally says that. He says it a little different, though. Something along like, "You think you go to heaven? You go to us." And he's holding Jody up against the wall. It was a pretty neat scene. In fact, you'll see, if you watch that outtake, you'll see a little bit more of part 2 in there. They kind of freeze him and blow him up and stuff, so it's kind of a neat deal. But yes, those are my two answers, my two picks. The thing I swear I would never do is throw two answers at you. I try to narrow it down to one every time, but this was just too hard for me. Couldn't do it. Could not do it. And I will try my damnedest never to do it again. I got 7 more days to go. I'm going to try and play it clean. But yeah, those are my two picks for best quote from horror movies. Your suffering will be legendary even in hell, from Hellraiser, spoken by Pinhead. And you think when you die you go to heaven, you come to us. That is the tall man in Phantasm Part 2. So, hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know what you think. Comment below. And bring on day 24. I'm ready. Talk to you later.